Good morning children, welcome to the math session. Today we are going to learn the fourth chapter from second part. The chapter name is direct and inverse proportion. Chapter 4, direct and inverse proportion. Okay, so already people have learned direct and inverse about the direct and inverse proportion. What is mean by the direct proportion? First heading is direct proportion. So direct proportion means we'll compare two things. For example, compared to the science, if we start boiling the water, if flame is more, the heating effect of the water is also will become more. Correct? As well, otherwise the temperature also will become more. If you reduce the flame, automatically the temperature will become decrease. Means if you increase the flame, the temperature of the water will become increase. If you reduce the flame, the temperature of the water will become less. Understanding? Okay. Otherwise, if we talk loudly, we get more sound. If we talk in a less voice, we will get less sound. This type of things, otherwise this type of situations are called direct proportion. Okay, we'll compare two things. X is directly proportional to y, so this indicates direct proportion. Okay, what will do? X is equal to k1. So k means what? K is proportionality constant. Understanding children? X is directly proportional to y, x is equal to ky. For example, if we want to find out the values, if you want to find out the any value, what we will do? We will take any one sign like a plus, minus or equal. So that's why x is equal to y. So instead of proportionality sign, I have taken the equal sign. So equal sign says, equal sign will take k. So what is k? K is a proportionality constant. This is the general form of direct proportion. Otherwise, x divided by y is equal to k. The k value is always equal to x divided by y. X is the one thing and y is the another thing. If you divide them, we will get the value of k. So take a step. Okay children, let us go to the exercise. Exercise 4.1. Exercise 4.1. So already people are having the textbook. So I'll read the question and directly I'll write the answer. Means directly I will solve the answer. The question is, find following are the car parking charges near a railway station up to. Check if the parking charges are in the direct proportion to the time. So already what he said, the car parking is directly proportional to the time. What he said, following are the car parking charges nearby the railway station. We have to find out what is the cost per hour. Understanding? Okay, first thing, question number 1. C1 means the car parking charges of car number 1 per hour. So what is the charge? Charge divided by time. Correct? What is the charge now? 16 rupees divided by 4 hours. Understand? So for 4 hours he paid 60 rupees. For 1 hour it will become 50. Correct? So the cost of 1 hour for the car parking is 15 rupees. Next, C2. C2 is how much? 100 divided by 8. Same. Charge divided by time will become 100 rupees for 8 hours. What do we do? 2 4s are 2 50s are 4 1s are 4 1s are 4. Remaining 1, it will become 10. 4 2s are 8. Remaining 2, it will become 20. 4 5s are 20. 12.5 rupees. If he parked the car for 4 hours, he has to pay per hour 50 rupees. If he parked 8 hours, he has to pay 12 rupees 50 paisa per hour. Understanding? Okay. Next. 12 hours. The timing is 12 hours. The amount is 140. C3. Same charge will come 140 divided by the timing is 12 hours. Okay. So 4 3s are 12. 4 will not come no. That's why 3 2 6 are 2 7s are 2 3s are 2 3s are 5s are. Okay. Next 3 1s are 3 11s are 33. Remaining 2 3 6 are 18. Remaining 2 3 6 are 18. 11.66 rupees per hour. And car number 4 C4 is equal to 24 hours 180. Charge divided by time. So what is the charge? 140 divided by 24 hours. Understanding? Okay. Next. 2 12s are 2 7s are. Next 2 6s are 2 3s are 5s are. Yes or no? Next the remaining values are 35 by 6. 6 1s are 6 5s are 30. Remaining 5 it will become 50. 6 1s are 6. 6 7s are 42. 6 8s are 48. 6 8s are 48. Remaining 2. 6 3s are 18. 5 rupees 83 paisa. These are the charges of different cars in the railway station. Understanding? C1, C2, C3 and C4. Okay, children, better answer. Okay, shall we go for the question number 2? Question number 2 is a mixture of a paint is prepared by mixing 1 part of a red pigment with 8 parts of a base. In the following table, find the parts of the base that need to be added. Okay. So how to find out? First one, so we have to take the table, parts of the red pigment and parts of the base. A mixture of a paint is prepared by mixing 1 part of a red, 1 part of a red of the red What is that? 8 parts of the base. In the following table, find the parts of the base that need to be added. So according to this question, one part of a pigment is there. So we have to add 8 parts of the base. For one part of the pigment, for one part of the red pigment, if one part of the red pigment is there, means we have to add how much? 8 parts. Okay, let us find out for the fourth pigment, for 7 times, for the 12 times, or for the 20 times. Okay, how to solve this? Look here. Question number 2. This is the table. First one, parts of a red pigment. Parts of red pigment divided by parts of base. Parts of base. So 1, 4, 7, 12. Next one is 20. Correct, children? Okay. So according to this, let us consider these values are A1, A2, A3, A4 and A5. So down values B1, B2, B3, B4, and let us consider these values are the B, and above values we consider as a A. Okay. By using the first situation, this is what 8. Solution: A1 is directly proportional to B1 because the condition is under the direct proportion. The condition is under the direct proportion. That's why A1 is directly proportional to B1. A1 is equal to K B1. So already we said the K value is what? The proportionality constant. Next, A1 divided by B1 is equal to what? K. Because why I am saying we have to find the K value. The remaining values, in the remaining values we are having only A1, A2, A3, A4. We don't have the B2 value. If we get the K value, we can easily find out B2, B3, B4 and B5. Okay. So what is the A1 value? 1 divided by 8 is equal to K. Let us go to the B2. Yes. How to take this? A2 upon B2 is equal to K. Yes, children. So according to this situation, we should find the value of B2. That's why A2 divided by K is equal to B2. What is the A2 value? 4. What is the K value? 1 divided by 8 is equal to B2. Correct? So later on, what we will do? B2 is equal to 4 into 8. The 8 will come to the numerator. It will multiply by 4. Next one. 4 exam. How much? 30. Clear? What I should write here? 32. So let's go to the next one. Yes. 7 divided by directly write 1 by 8 is equal to what? B3. So otherwise A3 upon B3 is equal to K. You can take like that. Otherwise directly take the values. What is the A3 value? 7. B3 we don't know. That's why we have to keep the value of what? K. 1 by 8 is equal to B3. Next one. 7 into 8 is equal to B3. B3 is equal to 56. If we are adding the 7 times of a red pigment, we have to add 56 times of the base. So we have right here 56. Next, 12 divided by, what is the K value? 1 by 8. What I should write now? B4. Correct? Take that place of 12. B4, 12 exam, 96. B4 is equal to 96. And final value. Here 96 will come and finally 20 is there. So 20 divided by the next value is 20 divided by 1 by 8 is equal to B5. So 20 into 8 is equal to B5. B5 is equal to 28 160. Understanding? So for 1 ml we have to add 8 ml. For 4 ml we have to add 32 ml. For 7 ml we have to add 56 ml. If for 12 ml we have to add 96. If 20 ml we have to add 160 to get the color. Understanding, children? Okay, let us answer.